Welcome back to Cards and Comics. Today I have another DC card unboxing video. So I'll wait for the cheers to subside for everyone who is waiting for the next video. But this one's special because this is looking for this Death Sky Disc. And with the Sandman out on Netflix, I thought this is the perfect time to bust a box of this. Now, this is a very inexpensive product to open. You can get it for probably 25 to 40 bucks, depending on shipping cost. But it has this cool death on, Sky Disc, which are kind of ugly cards. I mean, I'll be honest, but they're still a cool insert. They're still inserts, and I still want them. Now, if you look at it, it's a 90 card set featuring Vertigo characters. They're oversized, which always makes the set terribly unpopular. There's 6 character portraits of your favorite Vertigo characters with foil enhancements. The Sky Disc card. So again, not a ton of inserts, not a ton of chase cards, but the fact that there's Sandman cards in here and there's a Death card makes me want to collect it. And just open it. And it's not a huge cost to open a product like this, so it's kind of fun to be able to open up something that is sort of, reasonable in price. It has one chase card that if you hit it, you get a card worth probably like $20 to $40. So you maybe make your box price back right now. And I like to get the card and get it graded. So I'd like to pull the Death card and get it graded. And just, I've been trying to grade a bunch of my DC cards. And in fact, I sent a bunch in with my $18, special from PSA. There's a lot of Harley Quinn and Death cards being sent in. So they're going to be annoying to start with because, they don't fit into normal card holders. And they're the same size cards as the Kingdom Come cards I just picked up. I picked up almost a full set of the Kingdom Come. And in fact, I do have a box of Kingdom Come cards coming. So these are the Kingdom Come cards I just picked up as part of a deal I just did. And they're really cool cards because it's got Alex Ross art. Oversized cards, again, just like with minis. No one likes cards of weird size. So the cards themselves, so a little stickiness, but not too bad. So Swamp Thing is the first card here. And again, nice art. This is very, very Swamp Thing grotesque. So there we go. Swamp Thing. Hellblazer. So this looks like almost like the first cover for Hellblazer. Then the back looks like this. So, oops. So this is the back. I think it would be interesting if the back, had a little bit about his origin. I guess right here it does say a little bit about him. So it's just interesting. It does have who the artist is. So right there. So that's the artist. So it's interesting. So again, John Constantine, Sandman Mystery Theater, which is kind of the series after the original Sandman. Lenny Shapiro. I don't know what this is. Shade the Changing Man. So there we go. A character from Shade the Changing Man, which is a good series too for people who, want to get into, DC, comics and everything. Every comic that's listed here was from the time that Vertigo was amazing. So everything on here should be something you should try to, if you're interested in the comic side of it, Sandman Mystery Theater. Again, this is from that. But, all these series were really, really good. So you've got, Shade the Changing Man, Swamp Thing, Sandman, and then Roland and Payne. I think this is from Dead Boy Detectives. So again, the Children's Crusade, I think was, but yeah, like Roland and Payne. So again, I think this is, from series that were high quality storytelling. And I'm going to make a video about it because I feel like it's not been said enough. But, if you get down to it, like DC in general, and I'll say in general because I know a lot of people get a little upset about Marvel versus DC. But I'm going to say this because I got a video coming out I'm working on about it. But, DC in general has better storytelling. And Vertigo is a big part of it, which is why I think this set's cool. Like another Hellblazer Constantine card. Again, cool cover. I believe this is, Dave McKean. So this is the same cover artist who does Sandman covers. That's why it's got this mixed media cover. Here is Animal Man. So Animal Man was made popular by Grant Morrison. Great series back in the late 80s. Books of Magic was basically Harry Potter before Harry Potter. A lot of people have stated that that was interesting. And this is cool. Like, this is awesome. I didn't know this card existed, but that's Death right there. A great characterization. Now, this is actually a cover for one of the issues of Books of Magic because I have this. This is Charles Vess art. I actually have this cover because I collect every cover appearance of Death in comics. And so this is a Books of Magic cover because I have this cover because it has a photo of Death. That's cool. So like that would be a card I'm going to get graded because again, I'm trying to grade, all Death appearances on cards. So that's cool. Like there is an actual Death card right there as kind of a different thing. But back to the DC side of it, Skin Graft, never heard of this. I saw this kind of summary of every, I think it was a Ranker or a different one of these websites went through and went through like all these different top 10, top 100 comic book list, multiple like sites and different, relatively let's say relevant sources and combined it all into one list. And I believe 9 of the first top 10 best stories of comic books ever told were DC books, DC stories, and like 40 out of the top 100 were DC stories. So it's like DC tells some great stories, and I think they tell better stories than Marvel. So from that side of it, I think DC wins hands down. From the media, from movies, from other things, they don't win. Now here is one of the cool things about this set. It did have these embossed cards. So this is definitely embossed. You can see the crackling on the back. That's where the embossing is. So this is John Constantine. This is kind of like almost like a bronze bond. I think they're supposed to be bronze. So this is John Constantine. So there you go. This is what the bronze or embossed cards look like. So that's cool. So we'll make a little pile of embossed cards. And we've got Death cards, embossed cards, and just regular. So again, these are very cheap boxes. So again, if you're interested in just kind of learning about DC, and so Vertigo was kind of they call it imprint. It's like, they published more adult books through their Vertigo line. So here's another Sandman cover. And so they basically wanted to do that because they could put like, basically all of their adult content into one, line of books. And I think that was smart at that time period because comic books had just gone. Here's Delirium. Delirium is a Sandman character. And again, she's or I think it's they, because I think even in the comic book, Delirium is not male or female. I think it's a combination. But you got to remember, like, and even in the 80s and 90s, adult orientated books and mainstream Marvel and DC weren't as big a thing. You got to remember, Watchmen was not even in continuity, and it had some very adult themes to it. And so, Watchmen was not even in the DC universe. They actually wouldn't allow them to use DC universe characters for it because it was such an adult themed story. So you got to remember that, like, it's still Even, at that time, having these kind of adult themed stories were not as big a thing. And so um, pitting them all into one Wesley Dons, who is the other Sandman, made a lot of sense. So here's Destiny again from the Endless of Sandman. So we pull two of the Endless. I'm sure we're going to pull them all. Mystery Play. So this is Mystery from Detective. So this is I never heard of that one. So the cool thing about this is when I go back and look at these, there might be series I want to go back and go look at, like Moonshadow. I never heard of Moonshadow. So again, there's the book. And so again, this is a good set for me to learn from because I grew up with these books, but I was in college when this was really big, and Sandman was really at its peak. And I knew about it. I read some of it, but I wasn't as into it as I was later on when I had a little more time and free time to read. But, so some of these books definitely and some of these series would just have gone right by my notice. So just because I wasn't really paying attention to, comic books as quite as much as I did later on. So Hellblazer, Shade the Changing Man. I have read Shade, and it's a great series. So definitely into that. Diane Belmont. I don't know what she's from. So Sandman Mystery. Vamps, obviously. And for as much as, I talk about like how great Vertigo was, like anything else, it has Drek too. So like, like sexy vampire books, I'm sure not every story in every book was great. So, that's just how how it rolls. So again, most of these again are covers. Now you can see that there was some sort of theme or stylistic similarity in how they did covers for Vertigo books. They definitely had their own style. And so here's Destruction again, Sandman, Endless. So you can see that there was definitely, here's the Invisibles, which is another great series. Again, that's Grant Morrison. So Grant Morrison did the Animal Man run, Doom Patrol run that was very famous. So that's another series that he did. Rogan Gosh. So this is from, I guess this is his own series. So again, I never heard of that one. So a lot of stuff I haven't actually read or heard of is in here. So the last one. So again, I think there is a lot of potential here to go back and maybe see how much of this stuff is actually that I don't know about was actually really good content, but I'm sure some of it wasn't great. And so going through here, it's just cool to go back and see some of the covers, some of the artwork that was from this period. It's so, I'd say it's very dated. So Arcane, again, Swamp Thing. Wow, it's just, it's so striking, the art in this. So here's Doom Patrol. So again, Doom Patrol started out in DC, obviously. DC way back in the, I think way back in, starting like maybe wasn't Golden Age, but I think late 60s, you had Doom Patrol. And then it transitioned over to Vertigo because Grant Morrison's, Doom Patrol became very avant-garde and very interesting. So again, Doom Patrol is on HBO. I heard it may be getting canceled. So again, Animal Man. But it's so good. Like the TV show is good. The series was good. It broke a lot of boundaries. It really made people change. Animal Man, was the first series that really broke the third wall or fourth wall, I guess they're gonna say. So it had a lot of that. It was very important because it basically established the fact you can do, you can actually do meta in this, in DC and have commentary about the characters in the same book as the characters. If that makes sense, where the characters are kind of self-aware, and that had been done a little bit, but Animal Man was basically the first. So Tim Hunter, which is Books of Magic, which looks a lot like Harry Potter. So like, you see that, you know, um, and I think that is, um, today you would not think it was that big of a deal to see like characters breaking the fourth wall, like Deadpool, for example, does it all the time, and no one thinks that's anything cool or unique. But back in the day, having an actual, and you got to remember, Animal Man was a serious book to a certain extent. Like it wasn't like Deadpool, which is breaking the fourth wall to like make jokes. Animal Man was definitely more meta and a commentary, and a lot of it was about animals and animal rights, and a lot of things in there were adult, so it wasn't to make a bunch of jokes. So it was a different way of doing it. But after that happened, I think a lot of creators felt like they had the ability to break that barrier to talk and have characters be self-aware, and so I think overall it changed the game a little bit. And again, I think that's why DC gets a lot of credit and their stories are considered more groundbreaking, because you've got Alan Moore, like V for Vendetta, Watchmen, that really changed how comic books are written, and kind of like, and again, some people think it's bad. They go, well, it became angsty, and I think uh, definitely classic cover there. And that was bad. So like being really angsty and very everything dark is sort of what DC became, and I think that was one of the byproducts. But in all honesty, I think it was good for some things. For some characters it was good, for some characters it wasn't. But you got to remember, at the same time, DC also had things like the JLI, which is almost like a sitcom. So they had a very wide range of kind of content. And today I miss that. I think they don't have enough. Like I would love to have more humor series along with really really awesome meta series. Alongside you know classic superheroes. So again, Doom Patrol, very just adult content there. Mercy, again, from the book Mercy. So again, its own thing. Don't really remember that was this one. Jonah Hex. I don't remember Jonah Hex being over into this world, but it's kind of cool they brought him over to do more adult stories with him. More the witchcraft. So have not hit any more of the embossed or any of the death cards, so we're continuing to look for those. So again, some stickiness, and so this is what hopefully we don't find. Half the packs have been okay, half of them had some stickiness to them. And again, I haven't seen any other death cards. I know there is a death gold card or embossed card, so hopefully we hit that. A lot of Sandman Mystery Theater cards. So this must have came right at the end of the Sandman run, whereas the Mystery Theater was just starting. So I think that's why we're seeing tons of Mystery Theater Sandman and not regular Sandman, because I think maybe it was right at the end of that run. Now the Sandman has his own, also has his own set of cards. So if you want more Sandman, there is a whole run of cards, and I do believe those cards are oversized as well, because of course they would be oversized. Why would they want to make normal size cards that people would actually want to collect? Make everything oversized, and then no one wants them, and I kind of think that's sort of what happens. Another thing too is like just doing covers, and again it's cool that they're recycling artwork. But Marvel did this thing where they would actually commission artists to make new artwork, and I think that worked a lot better for them. I think, could you imagine like Julia or Boris or some really good artist commissioned to do a full Sandman or a Vertigo art, character art. I think that would have been amazing, and they just didn't do it. I think I think DC took the opinion that cards were just another thing to merchandise. They didn't view them as special. I think Marvel at some point really, especially when they started with the masterpieces, viewed it as a way to grow their base, and DC really didn't. And I think DC did some card sets later on that were more like that. Had some different artists. Like Batman, there were some Batman sets that came out that actually had art that was made for the sets. But early on sets like this definitely were just recycled art, for the most part. Again, some of it's cool to see like covers on cards, but it's not as cool like if this is all just original art that you could only get in this set. You'd have a lot more people opening these boxes looking for these cards, because then hey, you can only get this image or this card or this in this set. And so we are definitely not getting a lot of inserts. So definitely those gold cards are not like one every 2-3 packs. So again, another Sandman, Dave McKean. I was just going to see if it actually said what issue this is from. Yeah, so again, the backs are kind of weird. They have just like here it's got a cover, like there's the cover it comes from, but the front isn't that cover, right? So I don't know. It's interesting. Like, I guess that's a character card, and then it kind of tells you, like, it gives you like kind of the an important book for that character. Like Swamp Thing, here's Swamp Thing. There's a important Swamp Thing book, talks about it. So yep, a lot of packs. So I know it's going to be a long video, so hopefully we find something. The one thing that is kind of disappointing about these cards too is they're slid up. So when you open, I'll show it to you too. That I've been sliding them back, but the last card in the pack is slid up. See that? Like, it's slid forward. So like if that last card, that means that card can get easily damaged. So it's a little, because that last card is probably where the hit's going to be. So I'm a little nervous that if I don't open these right, I might hit something and cause some damage to the actual card I'm looking for. So here's Sandman. It doesn't tell me exactly. This is Daniel Hall. So this is like towards the end of the series when you've got kind of the new Sandman being introduced. Here's Despair. So another Endless. So again, very very cool take on the character. This is again Dave McKean. Again, this artwork, I think that it has to be said that the artwork for Sandman, for the series was very, and here's Destiny. So there's another Endless. So a lot of Endless artwork here. That it was definitely part of the look of the series. Was very abstract art, and Sandman was definitely not only good writing, but it had an aesthetic that people liked. That's very important, I think. Artists definitely create a vibe, and Sandman definitely had its own look and vibe. And another Hellblazer card, cool. So that definitely makes people immediately recognize like this is like a Sandman art. This is because of how it's done, and so that look and style creates its own little universe for people to get used to. And it does create a problem later on when you try to do more of that universe. You have to kind of either recreate that style or face the consequences of that. You'll have fandom be upset because you're not doing exactly the same style of art. And then here's another bronze or gold card at the end. So we'll just flip there because we've probably seen all these cards before. So we'll just try to focus on the hit. And it's a little, it's the Sandman. And no real damage to this card. It's really awesome. Maybe a little foily here. But that's a great image. And I think this is what, why this set's kind of cool is that this is a good image of Dream. I like the logo there in the middle. I think that's just a really cool image of Dream. And yeah, I mean, those cards are very cool. I think these are very cool. Unfortunately, if you look at the John Constantine, I just noticed it's got corner damage up here. Again, because being that last card in the pack and how those cards are pushed up, it's easy to bend or twist. And the Dream doesn't have that same issue. You can see that corner. There we go. That corner looks okay. But it's got a little bit of missing foil right there. So I don't know. Like, I would love to grade that Dream card because I definitely would love to have that card in some sort of holder, just to have it in the collection. But I don't think I would grade like an 8. So maybe that's all you're going to get. An 8 for that card. Maybe that's the best you can get due to kind of how these cards come out of packs now. Because again, some sticking. So Kathy George from She the Changing Man, Ellen Baker, again, that's Animal Man, Invisibles, Kid Eternity from Kid Eternity, American Freak, and there's the checklist. So this is kind of cool. It tells you like what the card numbers are and what issue that the cover's from. Because again, most of this artwork is covers, and so that's kind of cool. And actually, the checklist is really important because it tells you like what you're looking at here. Because the backs don't really give you a lot of detail. So the checklist actually makes it a lot more clear the issue that that covers from, which is kind of funny that the back of the card wouldn't just be more explicit, but I think they were not. I think this is like definitely one of those sets where some thought was put into it, obviously, but again, I'm going to say that they weren't looking to make it, this wasn't designed to be as thoughtful as other sets later on. Scarab. So we pulled 2 of those silver cards or foil cards. Let's see how many more we'll get. And they're always around the back, so I can tell immediately if I have one. If not, again, I'm assuming that's where the if I do get the other the death card, that's where it's going to be. But you never know. Again, some of these cards are definitely more stuck together. Animal Man, again, we've seen all these cards before. The set isn't that big. I forget, it's like a 60 card set, something like that. So it's not a big set. So the Sky Disc is 1 in 180 packs, and the foil card's 118. So in theory, we got 2 foils, so that's all you should get. So you get 2 foils a box. So a lot of packs, you get a lot of cards, but you don't get a lot of inserts. So 1 in, like 5 boxes or something to get the death card, another Animal Man cover. So 1 in 5 boxes to get the death. Skydis, that's a cool John Constantine. Very nice. Again, some of this artwork is good. It's got a little damage here on the side. So again, I think, obviously being big is not great. But if you're going to grade out a set, I think you would grade these cards, and then that's about it. But there are some really nice cards, and I could see where if someone was really into these, this time period, if you have like this cover in a CGC, 9.8, and you get the card next to it in the CGC graded card holder, a 9 or a 9 or a 10, that would look really cool. And I think it just came out, in the last day or so that they are, they are grading, cool Sandman. They are grading, CGC is now grading Marvel cards or comic cards, and they're going to put them in the blue label, not the CSG black. So I think that would look cool to, again, to have some of these covers. And You know, like there's Death. And Death is pretty good. I don't see middle of the pack. It's a really cool. I think this is a really cool because one thing is, you know, she's got short hair in this, which I don't mind too much because I do think that, you know, she would definitely change her appearance depending on where she's at. I wish there were, you know, one card of her, the classic Death that Dave drew the first time. Just to have that on a card would be awesome. So, but you know, very cool. Very happy that, you know, I pulled at least one Death card. I've been getting tons of doubles. I wish I was getting doubles of her, because that's kind of who I came for. But that's what happens, you know, when you open these kind of products or these cards, is that you know, it always happens that the one thing you're looking for you don't get a lot of, because, you know, that's the law of averages. You know, that I did get the Sandman foil, which is awesome. There is a Death foil as well. So, but at least I got the Sandman, which is, you know, a character I would definitely grade. I've got to get holders for these because I've got those Kingdom Come cards coming in that I'm going to open a box of that. And so I need to get some cards, some definitely these larger card holders here. So, all right, we're down to the final couple packs here. Haven't hit the Sky Disc, have not hit but one, I guess two Death cards, I guess one true Death card and one kind of like Death on the cover of another series. Again, another Salmon, Animal Man. I actually haven't hit this Animal Man before. Books of Magic again with Death on the cover. Very nice. So third Death. And all right, trying to get to the end of this. Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing about this too, is just tons of packs. Tons of packs. All right, Swamp Thing, Hellblazer, Doom Patrol, again, Kitty Eternity, Skin Graph. We've seen at least 5 of those Skin Graph cards. Never heard of that set. And I wish we had 5 of the Death cards, because that would be cool. And something that we're actually trying to collect. But hey, what do I know about what's popular? You know, I'm sure. Oh, that's an interesting Doom Patrol cover. I'm sure the person who put this box together wasn't like, I am going to make sure that he only gets one Death card because that's all he cares about. No, it's just the law of averages. But you know, we always want more of what we want, and less what we don't. And again, you know, as I go through each of these cards, again, tons of doubles. Tons of doubles. So, holding out hope for the Sky Disc. Again, one in like 5 boxes, so you're not pulling that Sky Disc very easily. And it's not worth a ton. If you really look at it, it's just not worth a ton. So here's Desire. Again, so they have these different Sandman endless cards. So that's a very interesting artwork on Desire. Very interesting. All right, down to our last 4 packs. Oh, we hit it. Oh, we hit it, guys. Very cool. So I'm gonna, you know, I'm not sure there's anything in here worth looking at. Actually, there's a Sandman card there, Animal Man card there, Shade the Changing Man card there. But there it is, guys. And then a Destiny card. But there it is. That is the Death hologram. Very cool. Wow. The Death Sky Disc. Wow. There we go. Sky Disc number 4. And it'd be interesting to put the whole set together because I think you could do it pretty easily. I know there's Superman. I'm looking to see if I can see her in there. If I can get the angle just right. Um, yeah, it's like, I'm not sure. Yeah, I can sort of see the image. Yep, I can see her sitting. Oh, that's cool. Oh, if you yeah, you see her sitting, and then yeah, that's pretty cool. There she is, right there. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, there it is. It's the death. And again, I think if they would have, made the borders a little like it's just black, with death and kind of a cool font, it'll look cooler. I think the way they did it with the purplish design, it just doesn't look as good as some other cards. I'm just being honest, but it's 1 in 180 packs. It's worth something, and it's worth getting graded because just right out of a pack, it looks really nice. It's not been, manhandled. Obviously, I'm touching it, so I'll probably have to wipe it down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, like, that's cool. I mean, just in general, that's a cool card to hit. Um, again, it's 1 in 180 packs, so that's basically 1 in every 5 boxes. So there, that's we did hit the card, so glad I spent I think 30 to 40 bucks on this box the first time I bought it. More Sandman, that's cool. Actually, this packet is stuff I haven't seen before. Shade, I've seen that, Books of Magic, Delirium. So maybe we can get another Death base card so I can have a few to choose from for grading. But yeah, that Death comic card is awesome. The Sky Disc. I think they really, the thing that is also very evident is, Skybox really invested a lot of time and money on that technology, that hologram technology. And that was their number one insert in tons of products. So if you get to like Superman and some Batman products, the Sky Disc was the chase. Like, this was not autographs, not refractors from Chrome cards. This was the chase. This was like their big insert for a majority of their products. And I think the collecting universe just kind of doesn't like holograms. Like, I think Upper Deck did the hologram thing and got the whole industry kind of all about holograms, and then I think collectors were just like, yeah, they're cool, but like, we like autographs, we like other stuff better. And I just think that no one really went like, oh my god, I gotta have this. This is the last pack, but people aren't just like, oh my god, I gotta have that hologram card. Like, they did like Chrome cards, refractor cards. So I just think it's one of those things that's very ironic, is that Skybox, which did a lot of DC products, the number one chase card in a lot of those products in that time period was the Sky Disc. And so for me, it's cool because I've never owned one, hit one, saw one in person, so it's just cool for me to have one. But definitely from a overall collector perspective, these are cards that a lot of people are just like, they're kind of ugly. And they don't, I mean, you can see the image in it, but it's not as clear as other holograms. So, but that is the chase card, and you can definitely see her in there. And cool to hit it, and I'm glad I opened it because, again, not a huge cost product, but I did hit the cool chase card, and I did hit a couple other death cards, including her base card, and I hit a really nice Sandman foil card. So I think those two cards are definitely worth the price of the box, and I'm definitely going to send some of these in for grading, just to get them. And I might actually send these into SGC, just so I don't have to worry about, but maybe not. I mean, SGC right now is $30. I'm not sure these are worth $30. I don't know what I'm going to do. These would have been cards I may have sent in at $18 to PSA. So I got to figure out, this might be a CSG, or maybe send it at CGC. I know, like, I got to look at their pricing, but I don't know if this is worth $30 to grade with CGC or SGC. Maybe it's something we do with someone else. So, but this is, fun rip for me. A lot of characters and cards I really like, and I'm glad I got them in a pack versus having to buy them off eBay. And there you go, guys. My Vertigo box with a Sandman and Death hit. and very, very happy I was able to do it. And see you next time, guys, on Cards and Comics. Bye.